Welcome to the debate. If you hear a fire alarm, your heart rate just, it spikes instantly.
Right. It's pure survival conditioning.
Exactly. You don't even think about it. But what if that fire alarm is, well, just the word homework?
I mean, for a lot of kids, that exact physiological panic happens the second they sit at the kitchen table.
It really does. So today we are looking at the anchoring framework from Empowered Homefront's curriculum. This is by Lori and Eric Howell.
And we're specifically asking if deliberately swapping educational vocabulary genuinely rewires a child's psychological resistance to learning.
Right, or if it merely masks deeper developmental challenges. I argue this framework is, honestly, a brilliant application of associative learning to eliminate those stress barriers.
And I contend it dangerously oversimplifies educational friction, risking ignoring true learning disabilities.
Well, the Howells definitely target a very specific audience. They talk about these working parents who are up, Googling at midnight, totally desperate for a clear starting line.
They do. And they've built an incredibly comforting narrative here. I mean, if you're a parent who just spent 3 hours fighting with your kid over fractions, hearing Empowered Homefront say nothing is wrong with your child is exactly what you want to hear.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge relief.
But that comfort is exactly what worries me. Framing standard academic struggles solely as negative conditioning caused by a flawed traditional system is a massive leap.
Are you perhaps underestimating the paralyzing effect that system has on a child's brain, though? I mean, we're talking about actual neurobiology here.
How so?
Well, by avoiding the word homework, which the Howells call their family word swap, you are literally bypassing the neural pathways that trigger the amygdala's fear response.
Okay, bypassing the amygdala is a real phenomenon. I will grant you that.
Right, so you're giving the prefrontal cortex, the logical learning part of the brain, a chance to engage before the panic sets in. It is applied neuroplasticity.
I hear you, but does clearing that anxiety actually solve the academic problem? Rebranding math as brain food might sound nice, but it doesn't alter the cognitive difficulty of long division.
It doesn't change the math, no.
Exactly. It's a placebo. The friction will inevitably return the moment the child realizes it's the exact same difficult task.
But you can't separate the task from the emotional state. Think of it like a corporate reset.
A corporate reset?
Yeah. If a department is notoriously toxic, management changes the physical office space and the job titles. It's not to trick the employees. It's to break the baseline anxiety so they can actually access their skills.
That is a fair analogy.
Right? Because if a child's brain is flooded with cortisol from a negative anchor, their working memory is physically impaired. Changing the vocabulary stops the cortisol.
That environmental buy-in comes at a conceptual cost, though. Let me push back using the curriculum's own anecdote about their 9-year-old son.
Oh, Jackson.
Right.
Yeah, Jackson.
He was struggling with reading, and when a speech therapist suggested medication, the father insisted they won't make him fit into a box.
I remember that part.
Attributing organic academic struggles strictly to negative anchors and societal timelines can heavily delay necessary interventions. A child with a reading deficit needs specialized help, not just a rebranded, stress-free environment.
I have to admit, that specific anecdote gave me pause initially, too. But if you look closely at the text, they note the child is still seeing a speech therapist.
Are they? I must have glossed over that.
Yeah, and he gets vision therapy as well. They aren't rejecting specialized help. They are rejecting the shame of the timeline.
But rejecting the timeline entirely seems risky.
Well, reframing the benchmark from a school pace to individual growth removes the paralyzing panic that your child is fundamentally broken. That actually empowers parents to pursue those therapies clearly.
If a parent reads it that closely, sure. The danger remains that an overwhelmed parent just hears it's the environment and stops looking for underlying cognitive roadblocks.
You think they'll just stop trying?
I think it acts as a highly appealing emotional Band-Aid for incredibly complex educational challenges.
We definitely converge on one reality, though. The traditional learning environment carries profound emotional weight.
Absolutely. And that weight unequivocally impacts performance.
I view this playbook as a vital emotional reset that translates behavioral psychology into an actionable toolkit for families.
And I agree. The curriculum highlights very real, modern systemic anxieties. It forces us to evaluate the delicate line between healthy environmental adaptation in avoiding rigorous, hard educational truths.
There is certainly more to explore in how we design our learning spaces. We have to figure out if we are just silencing the bell or if we are actively extinguishing the fire causing the panic.
Very true.
Something to consider until next time.